For years, whispers of a clash between Jay-Z and 50 Cent have fueled the music world, and now 50 is stepping back into the spotlight to dissect the stories and industry chatter surrounding their legendary rivalry. He dives into past confrontations, scrutinizes the balance of power in the industry, and highlights just how far Jay-Z's influence truly spreads across the business. At the height of their feud, 50 claims many chose caution over confrontation, and now he's calling out key moments and figures who were swept up in the tension, reigniting a saga that has shaped hip-hop discourse for decades with sharp insight and unapologetic intensity.
I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, in the club hit, and it was over. And it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. And let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there. Because America can be purchased. You can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift.
I wish you would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody.
And Jay disagrees.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would...
For years, industry chatter has hinted at tension when 50 Cent joined the Super Bowl lineup, with claims that Jay-Z initially hesitated until Eminem personally pushed for a spot. True or not, the story keeps sparking debate about the power dynamics between these heavyweights, while fans continue to see Eminem as a steadfast ally who has consistently backed 50 throughout their careers, adding another layer to a rivalry and partnership that still captivates the music world.
You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Benny Siegel, and Benny Siegel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing it. Like, oh shit. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close, and always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was going to buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and Beanie Siegel, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like that in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said,
Even with his monumental success, 50 Cent is celebrated for lifting others as he rises, with artists like Tony Yayo calling him a legend who stays approachable and connected to the next wave of talent. In contrast, Jay-Z is often seen as more untouchable, projecting a larger-than-life aura, which sharpens the divide in how these two icons are perceived and respected within the culture.
Big homie Jay-Z, right? I said to my nephew, I said, yo, listen, I have to ask him this straight up. So I said, yo, why, who is the people that's on NFL? And he said to me, and I'm sorry for anybody who don't understand, and he said, the white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm digging this Jimmy Iovine. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, Eminem called directly for 50. And he said,
that's his guy.
He said, I can't do it if I can't bring 50 up.
But that's his guy.
That's beautiful.
And guess who's Dre's guy?
Jay-Z has long been viewed as a master strategist, with critics noting that many of his moves seem designed to expand power and influence. While supporters credit his success to talent and discipline, industry voices, including 50 Cent, have at times questioned whether his public partnership with Beyoncé is as calculated as it appears. Widely celebrated as one of music's ultimate power couples, their union has coincided with Jay-Z's heightened presence at major events like the Grammys, reinforcing the sense that he carefully crafts his legacy and maintains an untouchable position at the top of the industry.
But you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hate. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know
because of what some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what 9. What was that? 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole.
Of course, but 50 was always competition for. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody has had the effect that we had.
20, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a Black Billionaires Lunch. Yeah. You understand?
Right.
And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence.
New lawsuit coming with Jay. The part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us. Black excellence.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Come on, bro.
Speculation around Jay-Z and Beyoncé's relationship has fueled endless debate, with some critics suggesting their partnership was strategically designed to elevate both careers, while fans insist their connection is genuine and resilient. At the same time, unconfirmed rumors about Jay-Z's personal life have circulated widely, often amplified by tabloids and online chatter. Similar discussions have revisited the early careers of artists like Rihanna, highlighting how power dynamics can shape the introduction of young talent to the industry. These stories continue to swirl in fan conversations, feeding the larger mythology and controversy that seems to follow major figures in entertainment.
When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies. Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
You must at the same time. You got them since he's like drinking. His pictures with him like thinks the cop.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades, because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
His career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see that their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
Why are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal, so I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, so I was forced to know both sides of the...
In December 1999, Jay-Z grabbed headlines when he was accused of stabbing music executive Lance Rivera during an altercation at New York City's Kit Kat Club. The incident drew intense media scrutiny, and he later pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge connected to the case. Even decades later, this episode remains one of the most controversial and discussed moments from the early phase of his career, marking a defining point in his rise to prominence.
But Rihanna, she's from Barbados?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, she's Bayesian. How did you come in contact with her? I mean, did you fly over there?
No, Jay Brown had actually bought me the song. She had a song right now, and it's I wouldn't say massive because of her roots, but she has this outrageous song called Pound the Replay. And he played that song for me, and I was scared. I was like, that song is too big for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, a new artist, when a song is that big, it's it's hard to come back from. And I don't sign songs, I sign artists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Won't you break down the difference between that? Because the viewing public might not understand that.
Some people chase the hot song for a minute, and then they sign, based on the song. I want to sign it based on an artist, based on, or based on the swag, or based on the level of talent, based on the writing, So I was a little reluctant when I first heard the song, and then, he kept going, Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, you know what, bring her by. And when she walked into our office, I was like, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, it was just something about it. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay. Then, we sat down and we talked, and they were talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over, and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic, everything is there. So we signed it that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m. Wow. That day, I was absolutely certain.
But Jaguar has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband She knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Anna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam.
Over time, Jay-Z has openly admitted to missteps in his relationship with Beyoncé, sparking ongoing discussion and renewed speculation about what unfolded behind the scenes. Rumors intensified after the widely discussed elevator footage from the 2014 Met Gala after-party showed Solange confronting Jay-Z while Beyoncé remained composed, a moment that ignited endless debate about their family dynamics and the tensions that may have led to the confrontation.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a perfect.
For years, insiders and fans have dissected the layers of Jay-Z and Beyoncé's relationship, noting just how public their personal and professional lives have become. Rumors involving interactions with other high-profile artists only fueled the conversation, while Beyoncé's calm, composed presence amid the speculation added to the intrigue. For many, these dynamics have sparked endless debate over whether their partnership is guided by strategy, loyalty, or a calculated mix of both, keeping the world's attention locked on one of music's most powerful couples.
Called to say, I'm going to talk about the problems in our marriage. I'm going to talk about how we almost lost things. And for her to say, I'm going to talk about my pain and anger at you. What were those conversations like?
Again, it didn't happen in that way. It happened, we were using our art almost like a therapy session, and we started making music together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music she was making at that time was further along. So her album came out as opposed to the joint album that we were working on. We still have a lot of that music. And this is what it became. There was never a point where it was like, I'm making this album. I was there.
Right.
I was right there the entire time.
And what was her reaction to your work, and what was your reaction to hers? They must have caused
I think they were
pain
both,
for each of you, right?
Of course. And both very, very uncomfortable, but sitting in that, the best place in a hurricane is like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the eye of that hurricane. Maybe not use hurricane because so many people are being affected right now, but the best place is right in the middle of the pain.
Right.
And that's where we were sitting, and it was uncomfortable. And we had a lot of conversations, and really proud of the music she made, and she was really proud of the art I released. And at the end of the day, we really have a healthy respect for one another's craft. I think she's amazing.
Right.
Most people walk away and like divorce rate is like 50% or something, because most people can't see themselves. The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you caused and then have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
So most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to look inside yourself. And so you walk away. It's my soulmate, it's the person I love, and you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and you not And if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're going to have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to.
Speculation about Jay-Z's personal life continues to swirl in the media, with rumors involving high-profile figures sparking widespread debate. Fans and industry observers often cite these stories as a reminder of how fame magnifies every move an artist makes, fueling ongoing conversations about power, privilege, and the fragile boundary between public image and private life in the music world.
A new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal.
A recent legal filing has drawn widespread attention by naming Jay-Z in a lawsuit stemming from an alleged assault at a 2000 MTV Video Music Awards afterparty. Jay-Z has denied the claims, labeling them false and emphasizing that any proper investigation should follow criminal, not civil, channels. He also accused the attorney behind the case of exploiting the situation for personal gain. The filing has reignited broader conversations about the scrutiny public figures face in high-profile legal matters and the challenges of navigating allegations in the entertainment industry.
That if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them,
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way. Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up.
I don't got that in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
Like,
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better, for her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the drug to perform, so she could remember and possibly love me for that.
Did it work?
What the this is, yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. I don't know why it's so hard for people
so
just
for
to
people to
acknowledge
feel
weird
like
shit is
you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too. This is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what is that?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip hop culture could think that everybody in hip hop culture is.
While much of the industry stays quiet, 50 Cent has never held back. On a recent episode of the Flagrant podcast, he called out what he described as a culture of secrecy and power, where many remain silent to safeguard their reputations. His candid remarks not only reignite his long-running rivalry with Jay-Z, but also expose the broader dynamics of influence, control, and unspoken conflicts that have shaped hip-hop for decades.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie. He was saying, told Jay, he was telling me, you know, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without fit, right? And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he He imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie wanted to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they're Harper, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
On Big Boy TV, 50 Cent unleashed his trademark sharp humor and unapologetic commentary, taking pointed jabs at Jay-Z. He playfully mocked Jay-Z's recent fashion choices, turning them into fodder for his wit, while making it clear that he speaks freely where others stay silent. For 50, there are no filters or limits. If he has something to say, he says it no matter who's watching or listening.
If you haven't seen it, which I hadn't seen it until this morning when I saw this headline, Kim found it for me. Let's watch this clip quickly.
Crazy
Let's
that you
watch
haven't
Tyra
seen
pushing to get this out of Rihanna, and when it does, man, it made me feel very, very uncomfortable.
Audition. Yes. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, this lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
The audience is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Tyra was trying to get that on the record, but my God, what Jaguar? He threatened her. This is her own words coming out of her mouth, and she was a kid at that time, correct?
15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed.
And
beautiful.
When
girl.
I met her that day, I knew she was a star. Like, just her look, the way she walked into a room and her confidence, and she performed in my office.
And she was what, 17 years old at that
She
point?
was 16.
16. And she has the confidence of it. She's
Yeah.
like an old soul in a
Yeah,
sense, right?
absolutely.
So she walks in your office and what, she just belts out a tune?
Belts out of tune, she performs, and I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day.
Jaguar Wright has consistently spoken out about her experiences in the music industry, including her time working with Jay-Z, describing him as calculated and formidable in business, someone whose influence few dare to challenge. Her insight adds depth to the ongoing conversation about power, strategy, and hierarchy in hip-hop, highlighting how industry dynamics can shape careers, reputations, and the very structure of the culture.